Shalom and welcome to Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna. This is the Beginning Biblical Hebrew course. And this is chapter 22, Possessive Endings, the plural forms of nouns, and the review of that chapter. And beginning with chapter 22's oral review, as always, I'll read the sentence and translate it. You can stop the video, practice however you need to do that. Number 1, Leah יכלה ללדת בביתה ואימא אימא. Leah was able to give birth in her house, and her mother with her. נוכל לשום את כל לחמנו לפניכם. So we will be able to put all our bread in front of you, y'all. And part C rather of 1. Bani ha-rasha yachol lasur mimeni uminachlati. So my son evil, my evil son, was able to turn aside from me and from my property. Part D. Hanviim yachlu lakum beinenu uvtoch artzenu. So the prophets were able to arise or to get up among us and in the midst of or within our land. Number 2, oral review. Kum na lavo el ha-machane v'loshevet bo imanu. So please get up or arise to come to the camp and to sit in it with us. Part B. Shuv limtzo et shivat ha-zekenim ha-holchim acharenu. Return to find the 7 old ones walking after us. Part C. Suru min ha-elim ha-omdim lifnechem v'shuvu latzon acharechem. Turn aside from the rams standing in front of you, y'all, and return to the flock behind you. D. Da et shmot esrim ha-malachim uvo lifnechem. Know the names of the messengers. I'm sorry, of the 20 messengers, and come in front of them. So again, know the names of the 20 messengers and come before them or in front of them. Number 3. Vayehi Laila Vayishkav David Vayasem et Charbo Tachtav. And it was night, and David lay down and put his sword under him. B. Vayan Moshe Vayomer lemor El tasim et yadcha aleha. So, and, or again, the and, you don't always have to translate the end here, but I generally do. But it again doesn't. All this does is reverse the tense essentially. But it's a connecting word, and it's important. Anyway, so again, if you don't have the end there, that's fine. But and Moses answered and said, saying, do not put your hand upon or on her. And part C. Vayamat Yosef Vayishkav Ba'adama im Evan alive. So, and Joseph died and lay in the ground or in the earth with a stone on him or on top of him. D. Vayashav Paro mitzrayma v'chol ha'am shav imo. And Pharaoh returned to Egypt, and all of the people returned with him. Okay, and again, recognize that these are both singular, but in translation, they're going to be plural. So the people, you might want to put a plural here, but because this is singular, the verb has to match it. But again, in the translation in English, we're going to make this all into plural. All right, and part E. Vayakam ha-navi vayasar min avonot ha'am saviv. Again, remember avonot. So the prophet, and the prophet arose, got up, and he turned aside from the sins of the people round about. Number 4. Be'achlenu et lachmenu ra'inu behemot basade acharenu. So in our eating, or when we ate, when we were eating our bread, we saw animals in the field behind us. Part B. V'shivtecha b'veitecha shafatta beni uvein achi. So in your, or when you were sitting in your house, you, this is you singular, of course, judged between me and between, which you don't have to translate this twice, but and between my brother. Part C. Kishami et kolcha min hahar aliti alav. So as I heard, or when I heard your voice from the mountain, I went up upon it, or on it. D. Midati et shimcha uchal lashuv el mikomecha. So from my knowing, or because I know, your, masculine singular, your name, I will be able to return to your place. Part E. Belechtecha baderek, shavta el mitzvot, and mitzvot avicha. So in your going, or while you are going, on the road, you returned to the commandments of your father. Number 5, last of the oral review. Yesh li shiva kelim uvtocham samti lechem ufri. So there is to me, or I have 7 vessels, 7 dishes, and I put in the midst of them, or put on them, or inside them, but literally in the midst of them, bread and fruit. Part B. Shivat ha-nevi'im yakumu beinechem. 7 prophets will arise among you, you all, among y'all. Number C, or section part C. Hine mea v'shaim osim avonot lifanenu. Behold, 100 wicked ones are doing sins in front of us, or before us. And that's the oral review for chapter 22. And the vocabulary for chapter 22 on page 241 of your book. Or in the word pair form, or, same, meaning light, it's masculine, a word that should be familiar to you. Another word that may be familiar to you is emet. Emet, feminine, and meaning is truth. And of course, the fascinating thing about the word for truth, there's several fascinating things, but one of them is it's the beginning and the end and the middle of the alphabet, aleph bet. So truth encompasses the reality of not just what you see, but also what it can become, and also what it is. Emet. Ark, Aron, or Aron, ark of. And then and that's masculine. In the morning, masculine is boker. Emphasis on the first syllable. Boker. Boker tov, good morning. Boker. Berit. And berit is covenant, agreement, contract. It's feminine. Covenant and covenant of. And again, remember, you may be familiar with this as bris or bris, because in Ashkenazic, the final tav is pronounced as an S. But for what we're learning here, it's brit and brits. Dor, generation, masculine. Dorot, generations, plural, again, masculine. So obviously irregular. Month, another word you're probably familiar with, chodesh, Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month. Chodesh, emphasis on the first syllable. Or chodashim, so this is the O sound, chodashim. So month, months, masculine form, so it's regular. And chodesh for months of, same form. Chen, grace or favor, masculine. Moed, the appointed times or meeting, masculine. Moed, moedim would be meetings, plural, and moedei would be meetings of, or times of, appointed times of. Verb, safar, or sofer, to count, soferim, count. For work or service, which is feminine, avodah and avodat. So work and works, work, and this is work of. Work of is the word pair form. Remember, the hey is substituted by the tav in some cases. So we have avodah, and avodat is the word pair form. Evening is erev, erev, erev tov, good evening. Masculine. And kerev is in the midst of, or the inward parts of something, the middle of, but midst of is often how it's translated. Kerev. And then shavar, to break, or shover. One of the ways, and we didn't talk about this with sofer, we can come back to that, but shavar, so one of the ways it might work for you to think about is shiver. If you shiver, shake something hard enough, it breaks. So shiver. But shavar, shover, the infinitive, shover. And probably sofer is one who writes. But in counting words, it's there's a sense of, especially in doing Torah, you have a sense of how many words are in the Torah, so you can kind of connect the two things. But safar is to count in this context. You can only count so far. Maybe, I don't know. If you come up with ideas on how to remember words, please, as I mentioned before, make note of them in the comments so that others can benefit from either your wisdom or from things you've learned in the past. Those are always appreciated when you add those. So that's our vocabulary for chapter 22. Continuing with other ways to look at the vocabulary or understand the different words. Kerev, as we said, you might see it as bekerev, in the midst of, or within or among, or mikerav, from within, from among. So if you add the letters in front, bet, mem, you just simply translate with that article. But kerev, mitzvah. So some idioms, some words, phrases that you're probably familiar with. So ohel moed is the tent of meeting. Matzachen be'enei, any form of the verb matzah, would be find favor in the eyes of, So find favor, chen, in the eyes of someone. Found favor in the eyes of God. And then used in the sentence here, Rachel, matzah chen be'enei Yaakov. So Rachel found favor in the eyes of Jacob, or Jacob liked Rachel. So really the heart of this chapter is simply learning some of the idioms in terms of adding to parts of speech that you already know, and just looking at them in terms of how you would add the pronoun markers to them and recognition that you can do that. So so we have like the direct object marker, et, which is going to, we'll see what that becomes when we add the endings to it. Kol, which is of course all, hine, there is, or ein, there is not. So let's take a look at that on the next section. And again, this is all on page 241. This is the chart. So you're not really having to learn a whole lot more here. Just recognize that you can add your pronouns, but your pronoun endings look very much the same as they always have looked. So it's not something necessarily that'll be difficult for you to learn, but just recognize that you do have, in some cases, changes of vowels under the words that we're looking at to go with it. But ein becomes eineni, but you have the e ending for I, the ka ending for you, masculine singular, the k ending for you, feminine, the nu ending for or u, I should say, ending for he, and the a ending for she. And again, the nu, this one can get a little confusing with he. You have to kind of make sure you're looking at it in context, but it is, of course, spelled the same way. Enenu and enenu can be either he or we, but again, in context, you should be able to figure that out pretty easily. Then here we have you, masculine plural, and we have they, they, enam. Okay. And then hine, same thing. We are changing a vowel and reducing this vowel to the shava in some cases, so just recognize that. But again, you should notice the hine part of all of these words, and then your normal endings. This one you can have either e or ni with the dual dagesh is in here. But again, pronounce the same or translate the same. I am. Here I am. Kol, all of, same thing, except you have, instead of kol, you have cool, coolly, kulecha. But endings exactly the same. Easy to note. And also note that in the her here, it doesn't always appear, as you can see, it doesn't appear here, but this dagesh in the hey is one indicator that this is the feminine pronoun, possessive pronoun, she or it there. Not possessive, but pronoun. So now on page 242, your book spends a little more time with ein, which is used to negate noun sentences. Ein Yaakov benech, Jacob is not your son, etc. So you have the ways to look at this. The word ein with the endings attached is also used to negate sentences and participles, but again, you add the pronoun to it. So, anachnu, we, amcha, are your people, or einenu, amcha, we are not your people. But so you have the we added here, as opposed to writing out the pronoun and combining it with the negative form to form the negative sentence. And then sometimes ein with endings is used together with a noun. In such a case, the word ein with endings usually comes after the noun. So just be aware of that. Jacob is not your son. But literally, Jacob, he is not your son, etc. So take a look at that. That's on page 242. And continuing, page 242, the uses of hine with endings. Hine, meaning behold or here is, usually precedes the subject for emphasis. With participles, the word hineni. Let me get the right marker or pen up here, but hineni, which is spelled hineni, kind of sounds the same, but you have the tsere rather than the sagol for your vowel. When it falls at the end of a sentence, can stand alone, meaning here I am. Now your note 44 just simply says there's yet another spelling that can happen, hineni, for that as well. But again, most of the time, this is what you'll be dealing with. So your sentences, you can see here, hineni omed lifanecha, and hinam ketuvim betorah, and veomer hineni, and he said, here I am. Okay. Kol with endings, same thing, goes through the same process of doing that. We're going to see a chart here in just a minute that'll go through all of it. But just again, it's very simple. Just recognize that there are sometimes vowel changes. So kol becomes cool, cool. But then your endings are still going to be the same. All of us. Okay, I gave all of them to the king. We saw the whole. We saw the sea, all of it is essentially what this is saying. We saw the whole sea. Okay. And from page 243, reminding you in chapter 15, you already learned that pronoun endings are attached to singular nouns to show possession. So just a kind of review of that. His name or my city. Possessive endings are also attached to plural nouns. These endings are very similar to the singular nouns. We'll take a look at a chart here in just a minute. And then possessive endings for nouns which end in im. Okay, when it ends in im, the im is dropped, and the possessive endings are attached directly to the noun. So that can be a little confusing. You have to check things out in context. So the noun itself may not appear plural. with the possessive ending, but if in context it is plural, make it plural. Possessive endings for plural nouns, almost the same letters as the possessing endings for singular nouns, with the addition of the letter yod. So that's what you're looking for here. In each plural possessive ending, there are also some vowel changes. And then we'll take a look at that chart here. So as you can see, the singular noun ben is son, or bain is son. So my son in the singular is bani. Bani. In the plural, it's banai. Banai. So kind of looks the same. And again, if you don't have vowels, it'll look exactly the same. But here's where they're showing you the difference here. So your son is bincha. Your sons is banecha. You add the yod. You see the yod added here. In all of these, there's a different, or an added yod. So that's what you're looking for. That's your indicator that you're dealing with a plural. But again, you can also look at context in some cases and see the same thing. Determine if it's singular or plural. But again, without context, this is what you're looking for. The yod is what makes the difference between the singular and the plural. Okay. Words that are singular in English but plural in Hebrew also take the plural ending. So face, panim, would become your face with panecha, as if you were saying your faces, your lives, your life, etc. Okay, so be aware of that. And finally, we looked at possessive endings for nouns which end in im, now the feminine form, or ot. We'll talk about any what happens there, and the key to that. Let's take a look at the chart. So for daughter, of course, the form is going to be different in the plural, so that will help. But also notice again, you have the addition of the yod here in front of the pronoun endings. So for your daughter, singular, it's bitcha. Your daughter's benotecha, and then taich and taiv. So again, that yod is your clue, other than, of course, the form is different in the plural for this one. So some plural nouns have possessive endings that vary slightly from those listed above, and you can check out the spellings of everything in their charts in the back of the book. Okay, so again, pretty basic, pretty simple. All you're doing, you're recognizing the very same endings to give you the pronouns. And you should recognize the basic letters, the basic construction of the nouns or the words that you're attaching here to that pronoun ending. Just know that the vowels can change, a few other changes, but essentially you should recognize that bit is bat. I mean that this is daughter. And in most cases, that'll be enough. Sometimes there might, like house, might sometimes get confusing here, but at any rate, be aware that this yod is your pattern. Remember, we always talked about look for patterns. So this is the pattern for the plural, is simply in both the masculine and the feminine is the yod, although there are some other vowel changes that could take place. Okay. And that is it. That's chapter 22 review for possessive endings for plural nouns. So look that over. Make sure you've read the book itself and gone through it and are familiar with it. Any questions that you have, you're certainly welcome to ask. Then we'll next begin the exercises to give you practice in seeing how all of this comes together. but just be familiar with the patterns. Look at patterns and go over patterns. Remember, you have resources. You can go to Quizlet and practice on Quizlet, both the vocab as well as these exercises that are done for you there. So you can get practice by using Quizlet, and just keep going over it. If you have a difficult time with a particular exercise, then go to Quizlet and practice it, sentence by sentence, word by word. Go over it until it becomes familiar. That's the point of practice. So that's what Quizlet will allow you to do. So please, please, please use your resources. All right. And that is going to wrap up, as I said, Chapter 22 review. We'll start exercises next time. Otherwise, thanks for sharing this time with me. I'm Tom Averna for Yeshiva B'nai Noach. Shalom.